Literally just an hour or two ago, Steam has announced their Steam controller, Steam Machine, and Steam Frame coming in 2026. Of course, the controller is just a controller. The Steam Machine is literally a computer that you can buy that has a Steam OS running on it, very much like the Steam Deck. And the Steam Frame, aptly named, is just a VR headset, all created by Steam using the Steam OS. It's all interconnected. And the reason that this is so interesting to me and why I want to yap about it a little bit is because just recently I read the State of PC Distribution 2025 report, which raised a very interesting question. Is Steam a monopoly? And I'm going to talk more about Steam and the Steam Machine and the Steam Frame. Like, there are a few videos that I want to watch and I'm going to look through. I'm going to talk about all of it. But the key findings from the State of PC Game Distribution 2025 report was that the rise of free-to-play games is the biggest challenge of selling PC games today. 40% said, followed by market saturation and competition, 35%, and discoverability, 33%. Then there were some other questions that pointed to Steam's dominance. 88% of studios say Steam accounts for over 75% of their revenue. That is a lot. 88% of studios interviewed said that over 3/4 of their revenue was from Steam. 72% feel Steam effectively exists as a monopoly, which is an extremely strong statement to agree with. Almost 3/4 of these studios who were interviewed feel that Steam effectively exists as a monopoly, and 53% are concerned about their level of reliance on that single platform. Beyond Steam, 48% have distributed a title to the Epic Game Store, which I'm not sure how much that really means, because if you're a gamer, you know, if you got a computer, maybe you built it yourself, most people would agree that the Epic Game Store is such a load of trash. It is really terrible. 30% to marketplaces such as G2A. G2A is pretty sketchy. It's like Green Man Gaming. I have no idea. 30% to marketplaces such as G2A and Kinguin. I don't even know what Kinguin is. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And 38% to e-stores such as Fanatical or Humble Bundle. Of course, I've heard of Humble Bundle. I have never heard of Fanatical. Humble Bundle is nice. I think it's, you know, lower prices and you get a nice bundle. I haven't used it in a long time though. 10% have distributed with GOG. Not familiar with that either. And 8% with itch.io. So of course, this all raises a lot of questions because this report just drops randomly. People are now wondering and questioning, is Steam a monopoly? And now, within like a week of that happening, Steam has now announced that they are going beyond the Steam Deck. They are building their own custom, basically like gaming console, along with their own VR headset and controller. And all of this is happening at the same time where I kid you not, I just read a report like a day ago. All this is happening all at the same time. I just read a report a day ago that said that the PlayStation 5 has now officially outsold every Xbox console ever released ever, which is crazy because I think we're going to hit like the 5-year mark since the PlayStation 5 has been released. So I guess what I'm getting at here in sharing all this information is that we are reaching an extremely pivotal period where Xbox has their Game Pass, but they're essentially dropping out of the race with the Xbox. I think I read something, I'm honestly not super interested in it. I think Xbox still has a console in the works, but as far as I can see, they're not really catching up too much. They're not really putting up a fight with Nintendo and with PlayStation. Now, it does make me wonder, before I get onto the Steam stuff and covering the Steam Machine and the Steam Frame, it does make me wonder, is Steam actually a monopoly? It's tough to say. I think there is a lot of validity in the statements from the studio executives, the developers and so forth who were interviewed from that questionnaire, and the fact that people are saying, hey, we're concerned because almost 3/4 of our revenue comes from Steam. That is concerning. But in that situation, I feel like the marketing move to do, like the right move to do, is to make it so that your game releases not only on Steam, but also on the major players. Nintendo, PlayStation, and I don't know, Game Pass or something. Of course, that's a lot easier said than done, but I would generally say in the PC world, just beyond consoles, in the PC world, yeah, it looks like Steam really controls the game there. There is not much competition. And you ask anyone, you ask me, I'm not going to be using EA or like Epic Games. Those things are just pure trash. Or whatever Ubisoft's, whatever their platforms are. I think Ubisoft is called like Origin or something. They are just terrible platforms. I would never want to use them. I just wouldn't. Steam, honestly, is extremely simplistic. I have a huge back catalog of games on there, as many other people do. And I think generally for major releases, I don't mind having a digital version of the game where I don't own a physical version. Anything major where like a big game anything major where a big game comes out and I'm looking forward to owning a physical copy. Why can I not speak? Owning a physical copy, I would just buy a copy for the PlayStation 5 and that would be my physical copy. So I'm gonna watch the video, the Steam announcement. I'm gonna go about that. I'm gonna go over and talk about that.
Hey everyone, this is Steam Deck. Steam Deck is our powerful, portable, handheld gaming PC that lets you take your Steam library with you anywhere. We're pretty proud of it. People who own Steam Decks have been playing everywhere, and we couldn't be happier with the response we've heard from all of you. We're excited to talk about the future of Steam Deck, but not today, because this isn't a video about the future of Steam Deck. This is a video about the future of Steam hardware. Today, we're announcing 3 new members of the Steam hardware lineup. All connect you with powerful PC gaming. All are optimized for gaming with Steam, and all are shipping in early 2026. Let's start with this one. This is the new Steam controller.
Which, by the way, I just really think it's a hideous design, but I'm open to being proven wrong.
The new Steam controller puts all of your Steam games at your fingertips, so you can play wherever and however you want. Just like with Steam Deck, we want you to be able to play any game with your Steam controller, even games never built with a controller in mind. It has all the great features from Steam Deck, like trackpads, gyro, and back buttons, all in a comfortable form factor. Its next-generation magnetic thumbsticks let you play with improved responsiveness and longevity. We've put capacitive touch sensors on the thumbsticks and now on the back of the controller too, so you can enable precision gyro aiming with the touch of your thumb, or your pinky if you're feeling fancy. Play for way too long with a rechargeable lithium-ion battery that allows for over 35 hours of playtime.
That is something that I'm interested in seeing because I don't know about you, but I have the PlayStation 5 controller. That thing has so much technology going on it. Oh my gosh, it does not last very long. And even with the PlayStation 4 controller, I remember seeing so many videos making fun of like how the controller is constantly dying.
With Steam controller, we want to make charging and wireless pairing something that's actually easy. That's why we created the Puck. The Puck is a combination wireless adapter and magnetic charger included with every Steam controller. Snap it on to charge. Once you're charged up, snap it off again. You can play over Bluetooth or a wired connection too. The new Steam controller works with any device running Steam or Steam Link, whether it's a PC, Mac, handheld, smartphone, Steam Deck, or the new Steam Machine. Oh, this is the new Steam Machine.
What's so surprising about this design is that the Xbox is not exactly on the rise. It is declining in popularity, and this design reminds me of an Xbox. But generally, most computers are just boxes anyways, right?
Steam Machine is a powerful gaming PC in a small but mighty package, designed for your games on the big screen. It's quiet too, which is crazy since it's 6 times more powerful than a Steam Deck. Powered by a discrete, semi-custom AMD GPU, enabling 4K gaming at 60 frames per second with FSR. Steam Machine runs SteamOS made for a bigger screen, built for gaming in your living room, your office, or wherever you play, with the rest of your PC accessories. Steam Machine borrows some great features from Steam Deck, like lightning-fast sleep and wake, an SD card slot to easily expand your storage, and brings some new tricks of its own, like a customizable LED strip, which can show different system functionalities, or your own light show. Steam Machine is a PC, so run whatever software you want, and it works with all your favorite desktop and gaming accessories. Steam Machine is designed to work hand in hand with the Steam controller, with the low latency, wireless connectivity of the Steam controller Puck built right in. And it's great for streaming your games to your phone, tablet, laptop, Steam Deck, or Steam Frame. Oh, yep! This is Steam Frame. Steam Frame is Valve's next-generation VR hardware. Stream all your Steam games, VR and non-VR alike, in this comfortable, lightweight, wireless VR headset. Steam Frame uses camera-based tracking, so getting into your games is as easy as slipping on the headset and waking it up.
That is extremely convenient. I personally am not a VR headset user. I find it makes me very, very sick. I just don't like it. But I have heard of the horror stories of like setting up cameras and sensors in the corners of your room and everything. So this does seem like a game changer. Just pop it right on and you don't have to worry about anything beyond that.
Steam Frame controllers, included with the headset, are designed with all the inputs you need for your VR titles, like motion controls and capacitive tracking for all your fingers, as well as a split gamepad layout to work with your whole Steam library. They even feature the same magnetic thumbsticks as Steam Controller for responsiveness and longevity. Steam Frame also pairs seamlessly with the new Steam Controller, a great companion for playing non-VR games in the headset. To make sure streaming is smooth and stable no matter what, Steam Frame includes a wireless adapter that lets you stream your games from your PC to your headset over a fast and dedicated Wi-Fi 6 connection. And the game is streamed to your frame optimized for VR, using new technology that allows for the highest resolution streaming exactly where your eyes are looking.
That is pretty interesting. It seems like it'll be pretty efficient, where it's not really rendering too much outside of where you're viewing, and then when you look over to another area, it'll be mostly rendering the area that you look at, I think is what they're putting down. So this looks like it'll all be pretty streamlined and efficient, especially if it's going to be at a lower price point. So hopefully this will be affordable for most people.
Frame is a PC running SteamOS. In addition to streaming, you can install and play a bunch of VR and non-VR games right in the headset without a host PC. You can also expand your onboard storage to fit even more games with a microSD card.
That's also a huge detail. The fact that you could use the Steam Frame without the Steam Machine. You could just use it as its own computer. That is pretty interesting. It's nice to see it. They're all connected, but also separate.
Controller, Steam Machine, and Steam Frame. All built with the same DNA as Steam Deck. All powered by Steam, work together, and can be used however you'd like with whatever peripherals and accessories you choose. Everything you see here is the culmination of what we've learned from our previous hardware experience and what we've wanted ourselves as gamers. Powerful PC gaming in an open ecosystem, giving you more ways to enjoy the games you love and discover new ones. Steam Controller, Steam Machine, and Steam Frame are all shipping in early 2026. Learn more at steampowered.com/hardware.
Alright, the rest of the video is mostly just a montage. Okay, so all pretty cool stuff here. Great announcements from Steam. Hopefully all this stuff will be at a more affordable price, especially considering things are so expensive nowadays. Looking at some of the hardware specs, like I think it has the Steam Machine, I think has like 8 gigs of GPU VRAM, I'm pretty sure. Not really that much in 2025 or releasing in 2026, so there's probably going to be quite a bit of like DLSS being used. Then again though, I think the equivalent, sorry, I didn't mean to say DLSS. They have a custom AMD GPU, so that is going to be using FSR. So it's called FSR with AMD GPUs, and essentially all that's doing is rendering at a lower resolution and then upscaling. Point being is the internals don't seem super beefy, so all this is probably going to be not the best quality, but relying on the super resolution technology. I have no idea what the price point is going to be. If I were to guess, the Steam Machine is probably going to be $1,000. The Steam Frame maybe will be like $500. I could be wrong. I'm just throwing out a random guess at that point. The controller is probably going to be like $80 or $90. But again, it begs the question. A lot of this is very, very strange timing because Xbox is absolutely on the decline. Microsoft has been extremely reliant on just like absolutely milking their cash cows and doing Game Pass. And I don't really know anyone who wakes up in the morning and says, oh boy, I'm ready to buy an Xbox. The main players in the console game right now are definitely Nintendo and PlayStation. If you ask me, I really just think Steam is going to be another one of those consoles, but the crazy thing about it is that you can get the Steam Machine and just use it as a PC. So yeah, there are really not many other competitors. Like, am I seeing in the future Epic Games releasing their own like PC console, the Epic console, you know, and competing with Steam? Probably not anytime soon, but how do I know? I could be wrong. I think it's a huge game changer, and I think that Steam is definitely capitalizing on their momentum here. But it's absolutely scary, and the fears of a lot of these studio executives who were interviewed, they are all valid. So I do hope in the coming years that there is going to be more competition. I don't really know how PlayStation and Nintendo could be competing with Steam. I have no idea how other platforms that are alternatives to Steam are going to be competing with them. I think the unfortunate situation is that Steam, as a user, in my opinion, Steam is just really easy to use. I have never ever wanted to use any other competition because they all are terrible and they suck. Steam has been around for a long time. I have a huge back catalog on Steam, and I've never had any, like I said at the beginning of the video, I've never had any other motivation to use anything like Origin or Epic Games. I just think they're stinky. They're terrible. They don't work. They're just really bad programs and bad platforms to use as a user. The unfortunate thing about that, though, is that, like, because I like Steam so much, a lot of the developers and studios go to Steam, and now they're almost their entire revenue is dependent on it. So is Steam a monopoly? Probably. I'll leave it up to you in the comments. But anyways, I just wanted to talk about some of this stuff. A lot of coincidental timing things happening right now. I myself am probably not going to get any of these products. I don't think they're going to be huge, but from what I do hear, people with their Steam Decks, while it doesn't seem like there's a lot of people with Steam Decks, it does seem like the people with them are pretty happy. And, you know, in general, I felt that the Steam Deck was just competition to something like the Nintendo Switch. So anyways, I hope someone out there starts a platform that can compete with Steam. But in general, compared to consoles, how much different is it? Because right now, two companies rule the entire console world. That is Nintendo and PlayStation. And I know that you could buy like an Xbox. I know you can. So there is other competition, but for the most part, two companies rule the console world. So how much different is that from Steam ruling the computer world? You have one monopoly versus two. Anyways, here's to hoping there's more competition in the future. Anyways, all right, I'm done yapping about it. Thanks for watching.